Hi, Sagittarius. This month gives you this awareness on what might possibly have control over you and or where you've been subconsciously giving control over yourself. You're in this place where you may be entirely in your worth to extent where if you're in a partnership, long-standing, or if it's new, different relationships, everything like that, you're kind of like going in a direction and you're you may say or may like communicate somehow that like this is the way I'm going and I'm gonna need you to follow me if you want to be a part of this right now, because right now you're in a place where yes, it is important to be open, it is important to utilize the energy that you have, but it's also important to really stand your ground. I don't know why, but that's what really came through right as I was getting to your reading, is just it's almost like saying to your partner or saying to this person, like, listen, this is the way I'm going and I'm going to need you to follow me and trust me on this one. Regardless if you've been the person to do that consistently in the relationship or partnership, depending on what that looks like for you, or if that's something where you're like, hey, listen, I know where this is going. I know, especially in the physical sense, like there's a certain philosophy or a certain part of you that has become the philosophy, the actionable part of the philosophy, where you're ready to use what's been given to you. You're ready to use the magic of what's been given to you, and you're no longer seeing smoke and mirrors where some people might be. This season can be a couple different things for you. That, you know, Venus just and like right after I do this. No, right before I've done this. Sorry, I get confused. That's where I have like weird dyslexia. Right before this, Venus moved into Pisces. Mercury will be moving into Taurus, and then Mars will move into Pisces. And a lot of, for some people, it can cause like really great confusion or misunderstanding, or just not seeing certain things on the same page, because everyone has some salt coming through. Everyone has some healing happening, whether it's physically or mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's all enraptured. So certain people may be at different levels. Some might be getting it all. And right now you're at this place where your philosophy meets your mentality, meets what you do, being in another fire sign, very spiritually for you, but it feels so physical. Again, this Devil and Queen of Pentacles is very important, because you're realizing that you no longer want to. I'm sure by the 10th I'll be talking smoothly and I'll be done with these, so or close to it, of course, but you're no longer willing to cast aside what you know is right, what intuitively, instinctively, what is the direction that you need to go in. Jupiter is also extremely expansive for you right now. And for some of you, it might bring you to this point of just like, I haven't felt this in a while. What is this? You almost want to stop while the momentum's going. And it's like Scorpio's in this very beautiful, this momentum place. And I'm realizing that this month especially, it's very clear where each sign bleeds into the other. And I'm bringing that up because in the Scorpio season, it was very much about momentum of letting the moments feel good, letting things that, you know, didn't once feel good now. And now you have that chance to kind of keep that going, because again, you're no longer seeing smoke and mirrors. You're seeing the bigger picture and where things need to go. And that's where your mind needs to be, because depending on how you work or who is in your life, the details sometimes just come together if you focus on the big picture, or the things come to you in order to make that decision. You don't have to constantly be on everything. That's not really your bag or where you work best for the most part. And this month, it would be best for you to use this energy in a more broad sense. Taurus season can take care of the rest of the details if you need, but you need to be willing to look at things and know that things are coming together, things are moving. So when that's happening, it's really, really important that you not blame yourself for the way that you used to be, or blame anyone else, or play this game where you can utilize this energy where you can, shoot yourself in the foot, shoot someone else in the foot, really be more angled towards the anxious anger part of you, where you can be geared towards the bigger picture of your life and what that looks like for you, because luck is really on your side right now. And it's so funny because these came up at the end, these two at the Libra, with the Ace of Cups and the Two of Swords together, and then we have the Eight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That's what you need to do. Walking away for you in the past may look like physically. Right now, it looks like you're finally seeing, and what's being brought up to the surface for you is where you've been holding on to a certain ideal, a certain something that just doesn't fit anymore. Something that isn't going to work out. Last month, showing yourself how you can be there for yourself the way that you are for others, the way you can support yourself the way that you support others, quickly had that power to bring you to, okay, so now this month we're going to continue that cycle, including others, but also when you come to this place where everything's kind of coming together and things are starting to feel better, look better, it's up to you to decide if that's when you want to stop in your tracks, or that's where you want to use that energy. Sorry, I feel like I'm yelling. Use that energy and to make decisions about letting that go, because there's no better time than to move forward from things that just don't make sense for your life and forward the bigger picture that you're seeing than right now in Aries season. Aries season is the best time to do so, and the eclipses will move into Aries and Libra next year. I know that's moving ahead, but I'm kind of just setting the forefront because this month is huge for a lot of people, or for everyone, in a way where it's going to carry out through next year. And the eclipse that's coming up by the end of the month is going to do this for you anyways, whether you like it or not. So it's better to either do it for yourself and and allow yourself this greater chance to expand and really shoot that arrow in a direction that you may have thought about in December, but because of the things that were going on then, you didn't have the strength or courage to think that you could make it this far. And now it's like, okay, it's like when you only take a little bit on your plate and now you can add more. This is the time where the more is going to work, but it's only if you're willing to not look back. So you did that, you don't have this huge reflection period right now. Everything that you need to reflect on is going to come into your life and ask you to either, okay, utilize this wisely or walk away from. Whether it's reoccurring cycles within your psyche, within your emotional nature, within your healing ancestry, whatever that is has been passed down, whether it's in your job, because this is all connected anyway, or even just really in your personal relationships. It's really important that I didn't realize why I picked this sweatshirt for a reason, but you need to carry and champion on what you need to do in your life, regardless of if the person agrees with you right away. You don't need someone overly agreeable. You just need someone to trust you and trust the decisions that you make for the most part, especially if this isn't a romantic relationship. And if they don't get that about you now, this month is going to be a huge awakening for them. And I think more than ever, they're going to have admiration for you and be inspired by you. And if they're not, and there's a different side that comes out in them after this month, then you have your Eight of Cups remembrance. If you stop in your tracks because of this one thing that this person said, or the doubt that someone has in you, it's really important for you to understand if the doubt is more important than who you are. That shouldn't question who you are. You've been asking yourself these questions for a while, and which way you want to go and how you want to do this. And it's really important for you to understand that when everything's being offered to you, even something that you didn't think you knew was possible but didn't think it would show up so quickly, it's showing up for you. This Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups is something you want to keep carrying out. It's something that it's like a wave that mutually moves you. It's you knowing that in life there's only so much control that you have, and if you find that way where you feel balanced, that you can move forward, you realize that the wave kind of brings you, that this flow and this momentum keep you going, and you don't have to try harder or try less. It's just keep this consistency, keep this going, keep this movement, and understand that when you need to, if there's something that needs to go or something that needs less attention, less of your power, it's going to show up for you to cut off. And if it's making you doubt yourself, especially the you that you know you really are, the you that you know you've set in motion, the you that you've been working hard, or not even just working hard, but like going through all of this bullshit to understand, like, and coming back to yourself regardless of who's next to you. Look who's next to you now. It's not about who was here, who will be here, who's here now. They say that the 5 closest people to you are the ones that reflect you, have your biggest reflections the most. And it's time for you to take stock in that right now. You don't have to make any drastic movements right now, but decisions can still be made, which ultimately is a movement, because Taurus season will be faster than most people think it is, especially for you. I'd like it to slow down, but there's something building. So for the first part of going from Aries season to Taurus season, you, of all people, will have this very clear, intuitive foresight for your life first and foremost, but for anyone else's life that's affected by you and your choices. You see things differently. You become clearer. For some people, this month is more confusing. For you, it's not. If it does become confusing, it's important to acknowledge yourself and see where you're maybe giving away too much. Giving away, and I come back to that word power, because if you let someone else have power over you, that could be why they might be overly influencing you at this moment. And you just have to come back and stand in yourself. And it's not a lot of you're communicating, but with very little words this month. It's more about the communication is very much with yourself, and then what needs to be said, you're willing to share. But there's this part of you that is like, trust the moves that I'm making. I trust the moves that I'm making. Trust the moves that I'm making. I'm less attached to I'm less attached to what's been attached to me, and I'm more looking towards what's opening up, what will take less, because the attachment is more energy. It's more use of your energy, and now you're going to be able to have more like recycled energy, because you're not just clinging. And that's not your way anyway, but the season's really making it clear where that happens for a lot of people. And if you want to have more, like, some freedom, especially in the ways that are really important to you, which is overall, but also having the commitments where they stand, it's just important for you to really listen to yourself this month and just take stock. All right, Sagittarius. The second part, we'll look at the cards, will be in a link below on Patreon. If you want to see that looks like the Libra video, I put the full thing up. And in past videos, I have that up there. I just, got to use your time wisely. Patreon link below, and all information to work on with me one-on-one is below. Thank you, and I will see you next month.